This little boy's story is as heartbreaking as it is brave. Edward James Coster was born in 1890 in Chorley Wood, a scenic village in Hertfordshire. His early years were defined by an unsettled home life. His parents, James Coster and Mary Jane Broden, separated when he was still very young. With no stable home, he was placed into care. At just 5 years old, he became one of the thousands of children sent to Canada through the child migration schemes. The program was a charitable effort to give impoverished and orphaned children from Britain a chance at a better life abroad. While many were treated well, plenty faced neglect and exploitation. In 1895, Edward crossed the Atlantic aboard the Parisian, arriving in Ontario at Orillia Station. There he was adopted by Duncan Anderson, a farmer in Simcoe, and spent his childhood working the land as a labourer. Meanwhile, back in England, the situation with his biological family had gone from bad to worse. In 1910, Edward's father, James, committed suicide after jumping into the River Thames. An inquest held in Wandsworth concluded a verdict of suicide while insane. Although James had lived apart from Edward's mother, Mary Jane, for nearly 18 years, he had continued to support her financially. A letter written by him was discovered and published in the newspaper, but its contents are too sensitive and emotional to repeat in this video. His stepfather spoke of a man who was steady in work, regular in his habits, and had lived quietly for nearly 2 decades. Whether Edward ever learned of his father's fate remains unknown. By 1916, the war had already claimed millions of lives, and Edward, now in his 20s, enlisted in the Canadian Overseas Expeditionary Force. Over the next 2 years, he served with honour in both the Ontario Regiment and Simcoe Foresters. His courage carried him through some of the war's most brutal battles, including Passchendaele, where he was wounded. After the war, he stayed in Canada and began a new chapter. In 1923, he married Alava Navason, and together they had 2 daughters, Isabella and Gladys. The family made their home on Princess Street in Regina, where Edward found steady work as a plumber with Regina Plumbing and Heating Company. Edward passed away in 1950 at the age of 60. His obituary described him as the dearly beloved husband of Mrs. Olava Coster. He was laid to rest with pride in a soldier's plot at Regina Cemetery, a quiet resting place for a man who had lived through war and loss, yet built a life of dignity and love.